I'm wearing brewery attire because I am working right now. So, oh my God.
Just call Jerry
Okay.
and I was just saying that Jody had a meeting she had to attend.
Okay.
So I was gonna run the report and then we'll see how we are on timing.
Okay. So I'll wait for Jerry.
No, I don't think we should. I think we can a little late. You made it fine.
Okay. And then I got this. Let me just make sure I got all the stuff in line.
So for a roll call, when you call first, you're gonna call everybody. And then, so just proceed, even though she's absent, proceed, like she's going to make something, she will be okay.
Okay.
So do roll call.
Okay. So I'm going to call this meeting to order at 4:59 p.m. And with myself being present, I'll officially take roll call. Cheryl,
Present.
Ben,
Present.
Jerry will be present, Becky,
Present.
and Robin. Present. Okay, first item is general public comment. Would you like me to read out this process? Okay. And this is time that members of the public may give comment of a general nature. No official action may be taken by the commission during this time unless it is to direct staff to look into a matter. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes. If you're watching online and would like to make a public comment, please send a chat message to the host in Zoom. Would anyone like to make a general public comment on an item that is not on the agenda?
Anyone online with Zoom, and no members of public present.
Okay. So there is no public comment at this time. All right, moving on into reports. Shell Smart will provide an update on the following items.
Yeah, so I went ahead and I inserted a copy for you all on all of the reports. You can follow along if you would like. On the CDBG, or I'm sorry, we'll start with upcoming events. So Made in Clarkdale has their annual event, their 35th Artist Showcase is happening December 1st through December 4th. It always happens in the Clubhouse Auditorium. You guys are welcome to come by. It's always a lot of fun. Art in the Clark is featuring some amazing high school students' art, and that'll take place all the way through December in the Clark Memorial Library. Councilman Regner's farewell reception is why all of this is set up. So tomorrow at 3:30, we're going to have that here in the men's lounge. Halloween went really well. We want to especially thank Cheryl and Ben and Jerry, who did a ton of work for us and lots of volunteer time. So it made it a very simple, easy process. Thank you guys very, very much. We had 1,370 trick-or-treaters. We didn't have any major issues or any safety concerns that were reported back to us. The supplemental candy, we had just a couple fewer households this year that requested it than previous years. Our candy cost was just over $3,000, and we had about $1,000 worth of candy donated, but Fry's gave us a 50% off discount, so we effectively doubled the amount of candy that we would have had. Our costume contest, we had 100 participants, and winners were awarded in 5 categories. We posted the winners online on our Clarkdale event Facebook page. There are pictures on there if anybody is curious. The house contest winners this year included one in Mountain Gate with 770 Alfonso Road, and in the trick-or-treat zone, it was the Mosers again at 1406 Main Street. And so for volunteers, we had 30 this year. We had a lot of partnering agencies who we always have: Verde Valley Fire, Verde Valley Ambulance, Clarkdale Police Department, and our Public Works Department. They all helped a lot this year. And our Clarkdale Downtown Business Alliance, they oversaw the new portion of Trunk or Treat. And they said that went really well. They only had 5 participants, but it sounds like there were a lot of kids who took advantage of it. And I think they'd like to do that again next year. Our giant inflatable Halloween cat, I don't know if you guys saw that in Town Park, that was damaged this year, and the family who had the kiddos who damaged it called us and told us that that had happened and that she would sew it back up. So after Halloween, she picked it up and she's working on getting that fixed. The only animatronic that was damaged this year was the jumping spider. Every time Joni and I went by, there was a kid jumping on the jumping spider, so not a surprise. This was our second jumping spider. These tend to break very easily. They're $50 and everybody tells us that they love it. So we just buy a new one every year. So we'll see. We'll talk about that next year. If anybody has any feedback, since a lot of you are new and went to the event maybe for the first time or second time, we'd love to hear that. Or from a volunteer perspective, please let us know what you thought about Halloween. Salnamanchini Park, I bet you guys have been noticing the remediation happening down there. The fencing is gone now. They're done with that portion. We are waiting for ADQ to give us the safe soils report. And once we have that, then we can send it to Land Water Conservation Fund grant, and then we should be able to move forward with getting our funding for that. So that's what we're waiting on there. Freeport needs to refill some sand down in the playground area. So that's the last thing we're really waiting on, is for them to get that sand. They're just having trouble sourcing that. So there's going to be fencing around that area until they get the sand that they need. And they're estimating probably 2 to 4 weeks for that. So we'll see. The 25-year lease agreement with Ray Selna and Mike Bongini for one of the parcels, that was finally signed after many years of waiting to get that done. So that was signed yesterday at council. CDBG, we have enlisted also this hired NACOG to help us with the CDBG kind of some of the reporting requirements. Basically, there are a lot of really technical aspects that they are offering to assist us with. And so we will be paying them $17,500 for helping us with some of the spec details for the bid packaging and a few other processes that they are experts at, and it's going to save us a lot of time. So we're not sure if the funding is going to be taken from the CDBG funding or if it'll be part of our grant funding that we budgeted for this year, but we'll see, and we'll let you guys know when we determine that. Release of funds notification came in from Arizona Department of Housing, and so we should have that money on the books in the next 2 weeks, maybe sooner than that, for CDBG. Staff's been working with Public Works and finalizing the specs for the park project. We're really close. We have just about everything done with that. So we'll update you. We'll show you the final specs at your next meeting. Copper Penny Park pickleball. So that came up. That was kind of funny this week. Really the last month it's been coming up. There are issues with that pickleball court. It's not the official size that it should be. It's a little bit smaller. And so we looked at adding on to that current court size. And the feedback we've gotten is that it can't safely be done because it's just too small of an area. So what they're going to do instead is they're going to extend the surface of the wash by 4 to 6 inches with the same surface that's on the trails everywhere. And they'll put a 4-foot fence behind that with tennis ball netting in front of it. So that's supposed to stop the balls. We'll see. And Crossroads developer has also proposed the possibility of developing an official pickleball facility over there on another parcel of land. So we're talking to them about that. That would be wonderful. We would also be looking at raising donated funds to help with that project. And it wouldn't be until next fiscal year at the earliest, but you all will be hearing about that in the future. Okay. And holiday events, all of these things we've been planning for this week. Caroling, we're not going to be doing because Munis Union High School let us know this week that they do not think they will be able to oversee it. We will still have the Red Rock a cappella caroling group at Santa's event. So there's going to be a little bit of caroling there. Santa's schedule, Verde Valley Fire offered to drive him from the fire station around. Beverage containers and hot chocolate have been purchased. Holiday lighting is going to go up with Public Works the week of November 16th to the 21st. So that's a little earlier than we've done other years, but that was their preference for staffing reasons. So that's our plan. Gazebo decorating, volunteers and staff will be decorating the gazebo at noon on November 21st. Help will be needed, and so we'll be sending out an email this week, letting everybody know about the volunteer opportunities. We typically have 8 to 12 people who help with that process, and it's almost always the same 8 to 12 people plus the firefighters who come and help us out. And so it goes up really quickly, and it's a lot of fun. So if you guys are available, you should come and join. All right, and that's it on our platform.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So we were back to, we're making the hot chocolate?
So we're gonna remake the hot chocolate, and Joni and I ordered some really nice beverage dispensers this week that are insulated. So we'll heat it, we'll have it all ready to go, and we'll pour it into those. And it'll just be an easy service for whoever is the volunteer that day pouring it. And we are hoping to have a little like bar for the kids to add marshmallows in, and they're just different things for the cocoa bar. So, okay.
And cookies, or are you just gonna get those donated?
Joni always gets us donated from Safeway. Yeah, they give us a $50 gift card, and I think last year it was $65 for all of them. Yeah.
We are.
And what night is the Santa event, or?
Is Santa on there? It's the first Saturday in December.
Third, I think.
So if we didn't list on there, it's that first Saturday. I think it's the third.
Third.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other feedback about Halloween?
Thought it was really nice that all the candy was already bagged and tied and not.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jared.
I think that's a good thing to keep going, just have a couple people go in there and do it, because otherwise it's just kind of messy. And then it just was easy for.
Yeah.
us to-
And just suggestion, since we bagged it, we counted it-ish, but at the end of the day, it filled the bag. So I think in the future, just fill the bags. I think that's a pretty fair,
Oh, instead of counting the pieces.
yeah, it's a pretty fair assessment. So just,
Do it by volume
Feel the.
or weight. Yeah,
I mean, volume, right?
Yeah.
Because it all seemed to fill the bag,
one prize bag is a bag.
is a bag,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And
Right,
just
yeah.
try to put a little variety in there and kind of call it good. So that would be it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
What happened
that
to the
was
cat? The
really-
kids try to ride it or something?
Yeah, the kiddo was jumping on its paw and broke it at the seam, but since it just got ripped on the seam, it's supposed to be an easy fix.
Okay.
It should be okay.
Ben did a great job ordering Halloween decoration.
The cat was from a previous year. It's
I
actually
know, but no,
survived.
I'm not being sarcastic. I was
Yeah.
giving you a
Well,
compliment.
thank
I
you.
was
I
saying you
appreciate
did a good job.
Yeah, thank you for the
You
correction.
did.
I did not order the one special decoration that everyone loves the most. That one had nothing to do with it. Thank you for that.
Ben found almost all of the decorations that were inside of the gazebo this year.
Yeah, no, they work great.
Yeah, and they were great. Everybody really enjoyed them, especially on Halloween night. There was just a line of kiddos lined up to go inside, just like last year. And we got a lot of really positive feedback about the decoration.
And I think just having, like we talked about, just you two doing decorating, you could have done it by yourself. You basically did. it by
It was
yourself.
nice to have a little involvement, but
Yeah, I thought it went pretty well. Stuff. The hanging spider web things were, I don't know.
that was the most challenging
Yeah,
part.
they
but-
were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And the hay bales.
Next year, I know the manager of Tractor Supply, everybody there is super cool. They'll probably just give us hay bales. Olson's just was not, they just weren't into it. That's all.
You know, I took them back and they checked them back in and they wanted to look them all over and everything. And they said that recently they had donated some for another event somewhere else and they got them back and they were all moldy and destroyed. And so that's why we were probably catching the tail end of that. They had just, given some out to somebody and had a bad experience. So I think that's maybe why they were a little touchy about it.
In the past, they didn't ask us to return them. We were able to just find someone who wanted to take those home. And so then we didn't have to transport them back since they're heavy. So next year, if we can find some that
Yeah,
can be
we'll try
donated.
Tractor Supply next year, because I guarantee they'll just donate.
Yeah, okay,
That'd be
that
good.
sounds great. Okay,
Okay.
anything else?
No? If you want to go back a step though, on the script that I received, I did not include item number 4. So I skipped the formal introduction of newly appointed advisory member Robin
Or the moon's done.
Moonstad.
Yeah.
As Moonstad.
Well, it's however you want to say it. What do you say? Osmondstad.
And so,
So we're very excited that Robin is gonna be joining the commission with us. She's gonna be an alternate, but she'll attend all of the meetings. She's still gonna get all of the reports, and if anyone isn't here, then she'll be a voting member during those meetings. Welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
very glad
Welcome.
you're here.
Welcome.
And she's
Yeah.
gonna give us advisement on ethics, so you're always welcome to share. Yeah. And did you have any questions?
no,
No.
all
Okay.
right. Now that both of those parts have been covered, moving on to minutes. We will vote to approve the items. Would anybody like to discuss this item? And
I'll move to approve the minutes from the October 12th meeting as written.
okay, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Cheryl, you were the second?
He was, yes. All right. Item number 7, we have one item on today's agenda that's going to be discussion item only, so you won't be taking action. And then we're going to be discussing the Parks and Recreation strategic plan and proposed elements of said plan.
Yeah, okay, so we're really, rather than taking action, we're not voting on anything. We're actually gonna require real action today from you all, because we're gonna have a brainstorming session with a SWOT analysis for the strategic plan. So you guys have some sticky notes there and you have some small little stickers. The way it's gonna work is we'll start with, has anybody done a SWOT analysis before? The strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You guys are familiar with it? We're gonna kind of evaluate where you all think we are. And this session is just gonna be about your perspective, and then at our next meeting, we will bring back to you a lot of the town strategies and our goals, and we'll bring you our SWOT analysis, and we'll kind of merge the two. But we wanted to start fresh, just to see what you guys all think. So the way that it's gonna work is, we're gonna start with strength. You guys are gonna use one of the post-it notes, and we'll have 10 minutes where you just work on your own and record any strength you can think of, one idea per sticky note. And then we're gonna add them all up here on this chart. Organize them, group them, roll with them next, okay? So, does anybody have any questions? Let's see. So for strengths, these are internal positive attributes of Parks and Rec in Parkdale. These are things that are within our control.
And this is speaking of the entirety of like the Parks and Recreation Department, all aspects of it, not just parks.
Correct. And that's the reason. If you want to hear that.
Okay.
Some of your, oh, okay. So we're just gonna list them, or we're gonna put them on those?
One-
On these,
One per
yeah.
note, I think, right?
Oh, I see.
One strength per sticky note. You know, you want us to walk up and place them as we do them, or just kind of keep them right here with us for now?
You can keep going with you and I'll come collect them after 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
So just, I guess, a couple examples, if that's helpful, are just our physical assets. And then assets like knowledge, networking, partnerships, our reputation, any competitive advantages to our neighboring cities or towns, and especially processes that we can find subjective.
You want us to put them on there, or do you want to just collect them from us? Five of them? Huh? There's something. Oh, okay. Hi there. There are copies of the agenda right back by the front door on that table. Do you, unless you have one right here, Shell?
They're there by the door. Yeah.
I thought I saw the agenda from October on the table. Okay, okay, good. Yeah, I'm not-
And right now we're on item
Sure, I
7, so we're doing a SWOT analysis.
Of recreation in Clarkdale. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, are we do that at the end, since we're in the middle of an item?
Would everyone agree that you can reopen it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, is everybody in agreement to do that? Okay, we will put a pause on this agenda item. And we're always excited to get public comment. We don't really get very many public attendees, so. Yes.
This is not very much last time I tried to get on the Zoom.
Okay, yeah. Well, welcome. So I'm gonna go ahead and move back to the public comment item. And so I'm gonna read through the instructions for public comment and then we'll invite you up for that part. So this is the time members of the public may give comment of a general nature. No official action may be taken by the commission during this time unless it is to direct staff to look into a matter. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes. And now we would like to invite you up for your public comment. So just state your name and your address.
Okay, my name's Wendy Jackson and I do reside in Clarkdale at times. And I'm interested in the park and I'm excited that there's a lot of progress going on and that things are gonna be fun for the kids and everybody else involved, for the community to get together and have music or whatever people are gonna learn and put forward. Do you happen to have a park map of this, the one that's down by the schoolhouse? Okay, I've seen that. I just thought if there was, I guess there's not a lot of public here, so I guess it wouldn't matter. I just kind of wanted to show you some of the comments I have about the park. Since I'm actually connected, it's sort of like an island. I own the schoolhouse right there. And so during the remediation, I was over there and talking about the plan because the remediation people didn't know what the plan was, didn't have one. So I gave them my plan. And so Leonard, who was in the remediation, we were talking about where the swings are right now and where the climbing apparatus is for the little kids. And since we were actually talking about a swimming pool there, not a big pool, a small pool that kids could have swimming lessons in the morning or that people could do, not necessarily, you know, huge lap swimming, but just a small arena for that to happen because there's not a lot of things for kids to do here. And I mean, as far as them being able to walk to something that could, an activity. And since there's a lot of working moms and dads, and a lot of times there's both men and the mom and dad working for little kids and stuff, for the parents to have to drive them to Cottonwood or wherever to Sedona to get swim lessons is an important part that the community really does need to provide, which was provided right here at this clubhouse when it was built in 1925, which Clark had 100,000 in his will to provide this building, and also the estate gave 50,000 back then in 1925 for the swimming pool, which has been covered up at this point. So I think it's an important part of the city to provide it doesn't need to be a big swimming pool, but just a small swimming pool. And we even mapped it out on how it would work perfectly where the swing set is now. And then to put the swing set up where the horseshoe pit would be, and move the horseshoe pit down in this other section where parallel to Second Street, which is where the bigger people would normally hang out more instead of putting them with the little kids. Because there's some other issues going around with people around the park. And also there's an outside classroom there, so you could teach things about the river and all kinds of other water related or any kind of weather, anything you could teach there. So we had it shaped in a rectangle, and so that outdoor classroom would be right there. And then the bathrooms could just be open when the swimming pool is open. And then if there's another event there, like you have a concert or whatever it is that you need more bathrooms, then they could be open at that time. And also, so it would basically be a rectangle where the swing sets are, and then there would be a push out glass for one end and a push out glass double doors for the other end for emergency exits or for entering and exiting. And then I thought it could be, I don't know if anybody's been to the boulders in Cave Creek or Carefree, whichever it is. But what they do around their swimming pool, which looks really nice, is they just have these poles that are about 3 inches and they're different heights, but it makes it so people can't climb over, and it kind of, they're rust and they kind of blend in with the landscape. And for the little kids or whatever, you can play them actually as instruments. If they're a little bit different shapes, they can have tones to them. And it's low maintenance, and with glass doors, push out doors for emergency or entry on both sides, it would make it, it'd be a lot less expensive than the proposed riverfront or river trailing thing, which estimate was over $1 million. For I'm sure less than 500,000, you could put a nice pool, you could have different hours, small, so it doesn't take a lot of lifeguards, 1 lifeguard, 1 attendant, hopefully. And then, like I said, the bathrooms would be only open and closed during operating hours. And then you could also have time for handicapped, for people that want to swim or relax. You could have time in the evening, maybe, you know, a certain time for the bigger kids to be able to come and do something, because I see a lot of teens, young teens just walking the streets. They don't have anything to do. There's no teen center. There's nothing for them to do. They can't go down to the river, or little kids can't go down to the river by themselves. The river's fantastic. I love it. I love that those are all open now for activities, but it's not something that small children or even young adults should really be down there by themselves, especially if they don't know how to swim. So that's just my 2 bits. And, you know, I don't mind helping to, you know, support coming up with a plan. I'm very efficient with money. And so I'm sure it could be a low cost swimming pool, you know, just simple, you know, nothing complicated with diving boards or anything. But since we're missing this pool, which is a huge loss, in my opinion, for this community, especially when it's 100 and something degrees, I think for different age groups and stuff, it would really, I mean, for everyone, it would be a wonderful thing to have.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
We appreciate the comment. Mhm. If you wanted to bring something in to show staff, I'm sure they'd be happy to at least check it out. So,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we can go ahead and wrap that up and go back into where we were with the strengths, and believe everybody's completed their strengths. Yeah. Oh, it's here. Here it is. Waiting on you.
With the new procedures out in the often to content,
Mhm.
but we want to direct that and then. And anyone wants to respond, you're welcome to about the process and comfort for the plan. Or after the assignment, you can let them know that we'll reach out to them, and I do. Will be. So we have support from council for expanded recreation and most regions in town have access to a local park. Like access is what you're thinking, if you walk in. Yeah. Long-standing history of holiday events in the community. And if anybody wants to add on to any of these things, like it's personally ideas or looking on add-ons. Staff and volunteers have been successful in getting grant funding. So We have 2 rafts in town and they have some accessible, handicap accessible components. So trail connection to larger region trail system. Yeah, more working on that. Okay, so improved grant funding access, which is this one.
No, it's fine.
And park access, multi-park, neighborhood. Volunteerism, plenty of interested and helpful locals. Yeah, and experts in that field a lot. We're very lucky. Wait, so Great River Access Point, yeah.
Alan, feed it off me.
Yeah.
My writing's bigger. You probably cheated off of me on computer.
And then planning and implementation. Play, encouraging play, quality of life, fun, and entertainment, you know, providing opportunities for play. So, kind of close to it, I mean, it's a little different. Community connection through a wide variety of activities and opportunities. Okay. Educating our community from the gifts of our area, history, natural environment, and community. Okay. Community input. Yeah. Communication about the event, etc., many avenues, small talk, Facebook, etc. Communication. Thank you. Hi, let's keep going. You got this. Come on, straight. So reputation of events from the great community. So number of outdoor opportunities. So we'll kind of that goes to wrap. Two. The quality of the building. Volunteer opportunities. Good volunteer base. Jenny, forgot you guys have to stay. Okay. Eclectic group of people. And a community input and a diversity of perspective you get from that. Okay, communication via email and social media. Okay. Open door policy. So that's kind of like community input, open door policy, that we're listening. Good involvement with first responders. We're very great community partners of ours. Okay, natural beauty and optimal weather. Do again. Long history of traditional events, carry over knowledge and practices from year to year. We are very grateful for that. Makes the events a lot easier when it's something we already know. Strong community support and involvement. Okay, Jenny, do you want to take over? I think. What do you guys think about other groups? Is there anything you think we should move around? Is there anything anybody wants to add?
A lot of correlations.
Yeah. Everybody's in the room.
How is the process?
It's like,
Okay. You have to work independently. Yeah.
And we've got interrupted. Member of the public. And then we finish with that.
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for the charter term meeting tonight. With the meeting with the attorneys today,
an agreement that is related to Parks and Recreation, then we will, bring to you next month. Nothing serious, just working out details between, government agencies. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all. It sounds like Michelle has this down. I think our next. Yes, our next process in this, or the next step in this, is to vote on the top, on your top things, of all the things that are up there. Give us an idea on what you think is the most important for us in going forward for Parks and Rec. So that would be, you have some dots in front of you, and that would be literally just coming up out of your chair, looking at the different things, and Michelle just went over them with you, and you probably know a lot of them that are there anyway. And just putting your sticker, your A dot, doesn't matter what color, on the grouping of things that you think are most important for us to really further the Parks and Recreation.
How many are we allowed to?
That's a.
His fingers.
I think we said we were gonna go with five.
Okay.
Yeah. For the script, I think we're gonna go with five. So, you can, at your leisure, come up and put your.
And we're just putting them in the group. We're just putting
In the group, yes.
a dot on.
Yes, not on every sheet, but just in a group of things that you think are learned. And here's the other thing. While we were putting things up there, while Shell was putting things up there, if something else came to mind, write it down. And, you know, because a lot of times I know when you start having this conversation, new ideas come up. And we want to be sure and capture those as well. So if something else comes up to you, you know, let us know, write it down, and we'll put it up there, and we'll let everybody know. So it doesn't have to be one at a time. These are all.
Once I'm reading it, yeah.
Whatever in there. I'm sure they'll explain to you, this is, you know, we have more information, we'll capture this and move it into other strategic areas that the town is working on, that Parks and Rec is involved in, and bring that back to you next meeting to kind of see where we fell in, but we'll do all that work instead of doing that invitation. And taking it on. I'm kind of glad we just have this one agenda item for this. And while these guys are doing this, if you want to start thinking now about the weaknesses. And the weaknesses are negative factors that should detract from your strengths. So we know what we think the strengths are now. These things that we might need to improve on. So they can be related to the items that are strengths. Sometimes strengths also come with weaknesses. So go ahead and begin the next step of coming up with the weaknesses for Parks and Rec in Yorkdale as we see it.
I'm here. Oh, yeah, sorry. You know, I just want to make sure there's enough.
But that.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah, we just didn't.
2 or 3.
It's okay. Yeah,
Well, I'm saying-
we're kind of sharing.
That's because you're-
Yeah,
you're sharing
no.
with me.
Just
fine
wanna-
with
Oh, she's probably got some more. Oh, yeah.
There we go. There you go. Sorry.
She shared those with me too.
All right, thanks. Well, no, no. that's-
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, cool. All right. Oh, I didn't even notice we divided them. I'm sorry.
I mean, as soon as they say they're done. Yeah, time I take 5 minutes is probably enough.
Yeah, so just, you know, when you got it. When you got it, you got it. And be honest. And some of the things we need some help. Things that we need to do to be more competitive in recreation and park. Any processes that need to be improved. Are there outside of you gain? Like money from equipment? Where are the gaps?
I'm gonna try to make those. I'm gonna try to make those, no.
Yeah. It's great.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I don't.
That one's a tiny bit of a joke based on.
Okay,
Something.
yeah, we haven't ever heard that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, do I have everybody's? Yeah, okay, so this is fun. And good, some things that, you know, we maybe haven't thought about, lacking opportunities for homebound folks. Too little community input in meetings. Are parks equitable in every neighborhood? Too few classes in park. Things that happen in parks. No swimming. I've never heard that. Trail access from town to be improved. Okay. Facility management and rental is very time consuming.
Did you write that one?
That was Alan.
Facility rentals, that's category in itself. Large sticky note adhesive is not very strong. Small staff with lots of responsibility. So some areas have no walking access to get to the park. So,
Yeah. Park accessibility.
kind of, yeah, access from town trails. Park. Limited budget, money. Something that could go to the pool. Trails, interconnectivity and awareness. So that goes to the trail access. Improved. River education, information and activities. Equity and quality of parks, so give us more equity. Not enough money to do all the things Parks and Rec wants to do. Money was. Not enough younger generation volunteers. Staffing. Huh?
Comment about that.
Parks and Recreation.
Got the ramps out there.
It's the small staff with lots of responsibilities. That's a green one, bottom right. Yeah.
And get there, money, budget, grants, more would be nice. Money,
Mhm.
staffing. Maybe a year outline for volunteers and staff. I don't know what is that pertaining to
Just,
events?
no, yeah, in general, like have a year, like,
Plan.
yeah, your
as to
plan.
What's going on.
Yeah, just because people
When
like me
opportunities are.
need to schedule my stuff.
Get you scheduled out for the next.
Yeah, that works so good.
Yeah.
They forget. Or then,
Maybe like a calendar or something.
Okay, better, communication for volunteers, with requesting community, aka business cards or city emails.
So that's mine too. That's just, and we've talked about this, like when I go ask for something and I'm a volunteer and my number's 858 and my Yahoo account, it like, they're like,
Yeah.
who is this person?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to,
Okay, and we'll talk more about that because that is an opportunity. So.
Yeah.
That we do that on a limited basis, because we only have so
Yeah.
many email accounts, so. More public involvement. Related to, we had.
I think
one-
yeah,
It's
you
up
have
at
it
the
up there,
top,
like
top
meetings and
middle.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Text feature for event and reminders and updates, I like that, so technology can kind of all by itself there. And large sticky notes. You can put your vote right there, sticky notes are terrible. Don't stick. Okay, good job. That was a lot of good ones, actually. Okay, so time to vote on your top 5 that you think are the biggest weaknesses. Those don't really stick with it. Oh, yours don't stick.
I love I used all your pink ones. What? I used all your pink ones.
Oh,
so
it
you're gonna
doesn't
want-
matter.
You know, I just noticed that Ben put one, an orange one on an orange paper and it just kind of disappeared, so. Probably wouldn't hurt to.
That's okay, 'cause we'll collect
You'll
them.
figure
We'll
it out.
actually,
Yeah.
photographic image of all of this, so we have it for our record. And we can- So my next question is, we're not quite an hour into the meeting. This is our only agenda item. We have two more SWAT items being our opportunities and our what is that T1?
Rex.
Rex, thank you. I always forget that. Our opportunities and threats. Are you feeling good about continuing the process and going on with those last two?
What will the next month be a big?
So the next month, we will put all of this together and bring it back to you and show how it relates to the town strategic plan, to the 10-year general plan, and to Parks and Rec, you know, how kind of what Parks and Rec is doing that involves the commission and some of the things that don't. But we wanted you to have a really open mind on all the things Parks and Recreation, whether it's something that is in your purview or not. So we will look at these things and then figure out, you know, look at what the town strategic plan, the 10-year plan for open space and recreation. We have a specific section in the 10-year plan that we developed, and some of you were involved in that process, in putting those together for a 10-year general plan that was just done recently. And so we'll just be looking at how all of those fit together and kind of outline it as to what, you know, what we need to do. So we'll review your final votes and then that information.
Yeah, I was just saying, is there gonna be a lot of other things on the agenda if we don't complete these two? Should we just power through, or like next time? We don't really know because this month, but.
There will be some things that we'll be diving into, not as detailed as this, but yeah, we'll have some discussion. So
I mean, I'm the only one that probably needs to get back to work, so that's my input, but I can stay a little bit longer if anybody else feels good about it, so. I will leave it.
I'm good
open.
either way.
I can do it next month. I think next month's fine too. We were at an hour, so.
Okay, because opportunities and threats does seem like something that I wouldn't mind thinking about a little bit
Little
more.
more.
With getting kind of this laid out, and then this will be in our packet to kind of review next month and have time to brainstorm on those two topics a little bit
Yes.
better.
absolutely.
Okay.
And when we send this to you, keep in mind that if something has come to you in the meantime, just let us know and we'll add it to the list. You can always send us something. You don't have to wait till a meeting to communicate. And I want to be really clear about that, especially for our new folks. You know, we have open door policy. Please call anytime, come in anytime that you have any questions about anything. You know, we really want to be addressing those things right up front and not have you be concerned with it or unsure about something. We want to get everything out there. So what I hear is that we will formulate these ideas. In the meantime, between now and the next meeting, you all will be thinking about some opportunities and some threats, that, you know, could get in the way of us being able to be successful and move forward with conflict control. We see it as possible.
Okay, would you like a motion on that?
No, we don't need a motion.
Okay. All right, well then we will wrap up that agenda item for the time being and come back to that. All right, the next item is going to be future agenda items. Does anybody have anything they would like to request to add to the future agenda?
The OT.
Yes, we will have the O and the T on the future agenda.
And we, I would like to. We'll put trails on for next month, because we should have some things moving down the road. Coffee Hero Park. We'll have potentially more discussion on some additional parks.
Okay. Okay, with no further items, is there any objection to adjournment?
No.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned at 5:59.
Yeah.